Welcome to video 5 of the video series A Missionary and Evangelistic Parish. I'm Father Damien Ryan, Parish Priest of Our Lady of the Holy Souls in Kensal Newtown. Just a brief recap on the previous 4 videos. We're on the last one now, but the first one was about how we've forgotten who we really are. We've forgotten our identity and purpose to be and make missionary disciples. The second video is that the church actually teaches that we parishes should be more evangelistic and missionary. The third video was about how about the 5 elements of a missionary and evangelistic parish. Video 4 was about what those 5 elements really mean in practice. And then video 5 was about how making this vision of a missionary and evangelistic parish a reality involves servant leadership. And so today, the traditional model, and even today, the priest is a lone ranger. If anyone's seen the TV program where they said, "Hi ho, silver away," the Lone Ranger. Well, that's what it's like to be a priest. But the thing is, that's not how Jesus led. You know, Jesus had teams. He had 3 around him, then he had the 12, he had 72. So he had different teams with whom he shared his life, his leadership. And one of the things I realised when I first moved here as a parish priest, I realised how early on, how the extent to which I needed support and a team like Jesus around me. And you know, I've read and I've listened to many experts in church leadership who promote the practice of the priest, the parish priest, having a team of 4 or 5 people around him. Could be paid staff if they're in America, or volunteers in the UK, to help him make practical leadership decisions. So it's not to do the job of a priest, but it's just for the priest to say, look, I've got these 5 decisions I have to get right. What do you think about it? How would you do it? And it's about discussing that. So the people around them would be what's known as FACT. So I want to get this right. They're not fat, FACT. F-A-C-T. F is for faithful, so they're dependable. And they're available, A, they have the time. They're contagious, which means not that they've got some kind of health problem, but that they're enthusiastic. They're not going to put a dampener on everything. And they're teachable, so they're able to and they're willing to learn. And the other aspect about having a team around the priest is that there are 4 non-negotiables. So every one of them would have a united vision. So in this case, for a missionary and evangelistic parish, we would have a balance of strengths. So there would be things that I'm good at and the things that I'm not good at. But there will be other people there who are good at things that I'm not very good at, and maybe not so good at things I'm good at. There's a phrase that says, there's no such thing as a well-rounded person, but you can have well-rounded teams. So the third aspect of the non-negotiable is a healthy conflict. So they should be able to actually disagree respectfully. And the fourth one is about vulnerability, to be able to say, you know what, it's been a difficult week and it's been a difficult month. So if I'm a bit short, apologise. So we're able to know why we may be feeling in a particular way. So on this note, I've asked 3 people in the parish to journey with me as part of my team. And they are Antonia St. Clair, Kaiser Chion, and Laura Ryan. And we've been journeying for a few months now, meeting every 2 weeks, every month, to discuss the practical decisions that I've got to make. And already I'm noticing the joy that comes from this sharing leadership. And it keeps me going several days after. I notice I've got a spring in my step. I no longer feel as lonely because it feels like people are sharing my joys and challenges. my hope is that every ministry will be led by teams of volunteers. So it won't just land on one person who gets that dreaded tap on the shoulder from Father, and before they know it, they've got a job for 40 years. So we already have a finance team, counting teams, cleaning teams, bazaar teams. This is amazing. And my hope is that in time we're going to have a vision team. So this team would be people who love to dream about the future, who want an evangelistic and missionary parish, and who are able to put together a 5 to 10 year plan about how we might achieve that. I want to have an evangelization team, people who can plan, organize and lead Alpha and raise up other leaders. I want to have an operations team. So these are people who would maintain and manage odd jobs in the church, hall or presbytery. I'd love to have a formal pastoral team. We've already got some people there in place, but I'd love to have even more people and greater organisation about how to best love and care for the sick and housebound. I'd love at some point to have a discipleship team, so people who can take responsibility for small groups, and so for people's faith and life growth. I'd love to have worship teams, so people who are in charge and take charge of liturgy. We've already got some people doing that. Sister Margarita does quite a bit behind the scenes you're maybe not aware of. But also music teams. We've already got some. I'd like maybe even more at different mass times. And welcoming teams. I'd love hospitality teams. There's those teams you've already got in place for organising teas and coffees. And I'd love hospitality teams for different events too. And I would really love to do, and it may happen sooner rather than later, is a parish summit. So what this means is to gather all these different teams that are often doing things without each other knowing, to gather, to connect, to get to know each other, to celebrate each team's successes, because you do so many things and we're constantly doing amazing things that I don't know about, and I want to celebrate it. So at this parish summit there would be opportunities to discuss how we might grow our ministries, and effectively just to be inspired by each other, to say, wow, it's amazing what they're doing. I wonder if we could do something similar. And also just to take the opportunity as parish, I would see you as leaders, to pray for the parish vision, to just be renewed. You know, healthy groups, organisations, families, and even churches, they grow when there's a culture, when there's a spirit of servant leadership. And I want to say that you can serve here, even if you think it's only a small part, even if it's like being a prayer warrior behind the scenes and encourager. My dream for you is to grow even more in Christian leadership, and so that you and we together can help transform the church, because the church needs transformation to become even more evangelistic and missionary, and you will be playing your part in that, but to transform the church and society in the name and person of Jesus.